Now listen close, city boys, 'cause this here's public service. There's places you can march around, wave signs, yell slogans, block roads, and feel real important. Then there's Appalachia. And buddy, y'all ain't from around here. The slogan, black hood is press, looking mean and important. Bought 2 cans of peaches, 3 jars of chow chow. Asked where the town square was and how to organize now. The cashier just squinted, said, "Bless your hearts, honey." You parked by the hall pen and paid cash for money. They unfolded a banner on a pickup tire hood. Then a dog stole the corner like he knew that it should. Old Earl on the porch set his juice jar down, said, "Boys, that wind ain't friendly in this town." Miss Vera from church gave a slow little grin, said, "Baby, if you came to march and picked the wrong hill to climb in, y'all ain't from around here. Y'all ain't from around here. That holler knows your shoes before you cross that creek. Y'all ain't from around here. Y'all ain't from around here. You came with a speech and left with a limp in your feet." They tried to sound tough by the feed store fence, but the goats got the look like they saw through the bit. One quoted a pamphlet, another said comrades, and Slim from the bait shop just nodded and laughed. He said, "Son, in these parts we don't do the theater. We don't clap for your slogans, we clap for the heater. Not a gun, mind you, just a screen door slam and a rooster named Harlan with a vendetta and plan." They marched past the chapel, they marched past the mill, past the bait bucket, barbed wire at a graveside hill. Then the whole front porch heard that one wrong step, and the fiddler in the yard played a tune like a thread. Y'all ain't from around here. Y'all ain't from around here. That holler knows your shoes before you cross that creek. Y'all ain't from around here. Y'all ain't from around here. You came with a speech and left with a limp in your feet. One got tangled in kudzu, one sunk in a ditch. One hollered, "This is oppression," then fell in the switch. A granny on a mower, chewing peppermint gum, drove circles around them like a carnival drum. The mayor's old beagle ran off with their sign. The church laid his giggle from the shade of the pines, and the deacon yelled, "Son, that's enough of that fuss," and handed them water like he didn't trust. Because the creek don't care what your flyer may say, and the mud don't move when you shout at the clay. If you wanna be heard, better learn how to grin, 'cause the mountain folk laugh where the trouble begins. They tried to block the 2-lane down by Hatchet Bend, but the first truck they stopped belonged to Big Roy and his friends. Roll down the window slow, said, "Boys, I'll count to 3, then this here road gets open with or without your company." They scattered like kicked chickens. One lost half a shoe, one slipped down in the ditch mud and turned from black to blue. The one with rainbow dreadlocks said, "This is intimidation." Roy said, "No, that's traffic, son. You're confusing transportation." With a limp in your feet. Y'all ain't from around here. Now you understand. Don't mistake a quiet holler for a place that won't make a stand. You came to raise a ruckus, left with mud across your rear, and every mile down that mountain said, "Y'all ain't from around here. Y'all ain't from around here." Let that lesson travel far. Don't bring a city tantrum with come if you're lonely or lost. Just don't bring a little flag and expect to be boss. These hills got patience and a memory too. They'll let you strut in, then they'll laugh at you. So if you hear banjo on a hot summer night and the fiddle's got teeth and the moon's running bright, turn back gentle, keep your pride in your vest, 'cause the South can be sweet, but it tests and it tests. Y'all ain't from around here. Y'all ain't from around here. That holler knows your shoes before you cross that creek. Y'all ain't from around here. Y'all ain't from around here. You came with a speech, left with a limp in your feet. Y'all ain't from around here. Best tip your hat and mind the chicken wide gear. Y'all ain't from around here. Y'all ain't from around here. The mountain's got a grin and it's laughing at your gear.